should be live, but it's not showing us live. There we go. Well, hello. Welcome to Drawing with Fire. I'm Valarie, your neighborhood pyrography artist, drawing with hubby.
Cap.
And today we are doing the final details on my lupus piece. I really would like to be done today, but knowing my brain, probably not. Hey, Spence. Hey, Sonia. Alrighty. So, I do want to say, because I have a feeling this has been happening, if you're coming out, if you've clicked on the video because you're looking for Gov't Mule's So Weak, So Strong, this is my art piece titled So Weak, So Strong. I should have linked in the description where you can go see the actual song video. Just in case you came across this in a strange way. And if so, please stay. We'd love to have you. Alrighty, so I am trying to figure out what I want to work on. I know I need to darken her. I still need to darken the background. I still have a lot I need to do in order to get this to be cohesive, I think. I feel. So I'm going to look at starting with her. Because I can darkening her, then I can work on other things. So I am going to actually heat up. Which pen? Where am I going? Where am I going with this? I think we're going to start off with the 18 small spear shader. I think we'll start there. I'll start at 3. And we'll figure out if that's what we need. Hey, Sonia. Hey, Spence. And Sheila, if you're watching, we're sending love and healing vibes to you. Sheila had surgery this morning, UK time, and I just wanted to send her love. It was a big surgery. So, she might not be with us for a little while, but she'll be back. Alright. So let's get started. Where is everybody? Is YouTube not telling people?
I don't know. Give it a minute.
Are we having a problem with the stream?
I don't think so. Everything looks good over here.
How many people are you showing?
4, but that includes me.
Well, it just dropped on here.
Well, it was 3.
If you can hear us, please say something in the chat. And I'm going to try to actually click it over to...
Oh, I can turn this up.
It just dropped.
Yep.
Okay, we can hear us.
Audio's good.
Well, maybe people are just done with this piece, and if so, that's okay. So I'm going to bump down to 2.5.
Shirley's here.
Hey, Shirley. Good morning.
Sonia says she can hear fine.
Okay. So I'm looking at my drawing, and I see right here that this actually should be some hair coming down. Because the elbow... There we go. We can actually shape this. And I can bring down as much hair as I want. I'm just using the tip. And I'm at 2.5. This month has gone by so quickly.
It really has.
Actually, in the year. There we go. Now I can use more of the hair to shape her.
What's on your ear, doggy?
And this is what I mean by details. Catching all the little stuff. I'm actually going to zoom in because the camera is right in my throat. Not fun. So we're going to angle it a little bit. There we go. Much better. Much better. Hey, Teresa. Teresa's back. Teresa's back. And right now, Sheila's gone. Is Teresa and she? Oh, there she is. Oh, I didn't expect her today. Hopefully she's just relaxing in bed. Chilling out. We're sending you healing vibes, Sheila. Healing, loving vibes. Alright, so let's see here. I still feel like the arm is a little too
Roxy.
shaped funny. But that's part of final details, we can fix that. Just like this. And then that shows I also need... See, up on my pattern, I show her shoulder actually covered. But since I'm not going to put hair there, I can darken it with a shadow. And that's what this is about, is darkening everything up. Getting that shadow in to start shaping, really shaping the body. There we go. Because this is supposed to be a dark area. So definitely needs more shadows. And since I'm not looking at a actual photo reference, I have to take into consideration what I know about not being on camera. Sorry, I was moving up. But what I know about anatomy. About where light would be hitting. Making everything feel more 3D. So like right here, the lightest part would be the center. And now that I have that dark background in, I can tell how much darker things need to go in order for us to get the shape right. And this is where all the adjustments start really happening. Because it is so dark in here, I can go much darker to make it more dynamic. I think with the background, I really want to smooth it out and just push it back. I don't think it needs to be in our face. I can even push the face back too, because it's not like we see a whole lot. I intentionally did her without a face because it's easier for people to identify with. They can feel it for themselves. You can see how much darker I'm now going. So the areas that look dark when we started, we can tell they're not. So I'm just going to go through. I do want to kind of make sure it's smooth on her skin though. I'm not going to lose my brain if it's not. Not this time. So, on the tablet there, love, what I've done, because I did say I was going to talk about doctors from a patient point of view.
Okay.
But if you, what I have done, because I haven't been good about it, is talk about lupus. And since today is the last day of the month, Lupus Awareness Month, if you could read, what I'm going to have Hubcap do is read the general, and I say general because there can be other, they must have heard something outside, the neighbors or something, other symptoms. These are not an absolute list. These are general symptoms of lupus.
So do you want me to read the bullet points?
Yeah, just read the bullet points, and remember, neither one of us are doctors. If you have any of this stuff going on, please go talk to a doctor and start having tests done, because it can take a long time for the diagnosis.
Okay.
So these are from the CDC.
Okay, so muscle and joint pain. So that's pain and stiffness with or without swelling. And that affects most people with lupus. Common areas for muscle pain and swelling include the neck, thighs, shoulders, and upper arms. Fever, a fever higher than 100 degrees Fahrenheit. It affects many people with lupus. The fever is often caused by inflammation or infection. And so I associate that when you have a flare-up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're not like over 100 degrees all the time. It's when it flares up.
No, I do go. My highest in general with a flare-up, that was 103. But I do go over 100.
Yeah, but like normally you're like normal body temperature, right?
Yes, I'm a regular body temperature, so when I have a flare-up, I go over 100.
Yeah.
With that.
Okay.
I just may not tell you because...
Right. Rashes. So you can get rashes on any part of your body that's exposed to the sun. And one common sign of lupus is a red butterfly-shaped rash across the nose and cheeks. So, yeah.
I could be the model. I'm not making a joke out of it. It is what it is.
So,
you know, what are you going to do?
Chest pain. It can trigger inflammation in the lining of the lungs.
Yeah.
And so that causes chest pain when breathing deeply.
Mm-hmm.
Hair loss.
Which is why I keep my hair long.
Sun or light sensitivity.
Mm-hmm.
Which also can cause rashes, fever, fatigue, or joint pain.
Mm-hmm.
Kidney problems. That could include weight gain, swollen ankles, high blood pressure, and decreased kidney function. Mouth sores, usually on the roof of the mouth, but they can also appear in the gums, inside the cheeks, and on the lips. Prolonged or extreme fatigue. You may feel tired or exhausted even when you get enough sleep. Fatigue can also be a sign of a lupus flare. Anemia or blood clotting. Either or.
Or both. Yeah, you can't have both at once.
Right.
But they can both occur.
Because if you had them both at once, then you'd just be normal.
You'd have regular blood,
Right.
yes.
Memory problems. Some people with lupus report problems with forgetfulness or confusion. Well, that's not you. That's me.
I hide mine when I have it. And I do have it.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
You may get dry eyes, eye inflammation, and eyelid rashes. So...
That one I have not had, knock on wood.
And I would say just based on...
Is that all of them?
Yeah, that's all of them.
That's all of the general, but not exclusive symptoms that the doctors look at.
I would say that you have a lot of that at once. And so...
Yep, and I have a new one.
Which one's that?
A new one as in being a consistent issue. Blood clotting.
Oh.
Or thick blood, as I like to call it. Thick blood.
Now you would think that, like, I wonder how that would affect you at sea level. Would it be worse? Because your blood thins out at altitude.
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, since 2013, my hematocrit and red blood count has been up, but the doctors weren't saying anything because we do live at 7,000 feet. Actually, your blood thickens as you go up. That's why they weren't saying anything. But because it's still there, that's why they started looking at it. So now I gotta go I need to make a date with a vampire and get blood pulled out to thin out my blood.
Gotcha.
Because elevation thickens. But elevation has helped me with my joint pain. That's where it's really helped me, is my joint pain. Because there's less pressure on my joints. I can feel a big difference with that. Compared to like when we go to Phoenix.
Right.
And I feel just everything compressing down when we go to Phoenix. And then when we start heading up, I start feeling a little bit of decompression in the joints. Now, on the website, do they talk about, I know there's a section on how lupus is diagnosed. And again, that's not necessarily an exhaustive list either.
It just says that it's hard to diagnose because it has many symptoms that are often mistaken for other diseases.
This is true.
Has no cure.
Yeah, don't remind me.
I would think it doesn't say. Well, blood and urine tests.
Mm-hmm.
But what it seems like is that because there's so many symptoms that are associated with other things, that they have to rule out a lot of things. And then if they rule out, like, say, kidney disease, yeah, then they have to look for, what else could be causing it, and,
Well, diabetes can also
right. So
mimic some.
They have to rule out all the things that would normally, be the normal things are associated with those symptoms, and if they can rule those things out, then it could be lupus.
There are some specific tests, Teresa. There is a blood work. They look at your ANA, and hopefully I don't get tagged on. YouTube's already been demonetizing each one of these lives as this piece has been coming together, because they can see more of the piece. But they can do an ANA. There's one specific test that they do. Doesn't mean everybody comes back positive on that test. But a lot of people who come back on that test come back as a positive, I believe it's gonorrhea test. But they don't have gonorrhea. It's lupus that is responding to the test. I think it's gonorrhea. It's not syphilis.
It doesn't say on here.
It doesn't say on there. They've gotten better about it. In the 70s, it was bad. People were being told they had a positive STD test. But that's not what it was. It was lupus. And a family member actually went through that. That's how I know. And it caused some issues for that person. I don't need to say who it is. But it was their lupus, not a sexually transmitted disease. So, but 20% of people who have lupus, their test comes back negative, and I am one of those people. That's how I know, because I was like, wait a minute, my doctor and I are looking at everything going on with me, but my test was coming back negative. And it took some research to see not everybody will come back positive. 20% of the population, I believe the number on the website said 1.5 million people suffer from lupus. And 20% of that's a lot of people coming back as negative.
Yeah. So, one thing though is like, could be a family history of lupus or other autoimmune diseases, because lupus is an autoimmune disease.
Yes.
Well, there's two kinds of lupuses, correct?
There's actually three kinds of lupuses. There's the SLE, which is what I have, which is eternal, but it also express itself external with the skin. There's skin lupus, which is lupus specific to the skin, and that's what my family member has. And then there's also drug-induced lupus. That may be because some medications you're on for something else mimics and creates the same symptoms as lupus. And once you go off that medication, then that stops. But they still may treat you as you have lupus if it's in regards to medication causing those symptoms. So those are I believe there may be another one, but those are the three main ones. And that was just off the top of my head. But I have SLE. My family member has skin lupus, and then I had another family member up the line who also had it.
So one thing that we haven't really talked about is like what SLE is essentially, if I understand it right,
Systematic.
is it your autoimmune system decides that, you know, everything is a threat and starts attacking your internal organs. And
It can. It doesn't necessarily always happen.
yeah.
But yes, it can affect the kidneys, the liver, the heart, and the lungs.
Yeah. And so
It goes from mild to life threat.
So you have to take medication that depresses your immune system.
Correct.
Which makes you more susceptible to everything, which is why one of the reasons why we have to be very careful about viruses and things like that. Because if you do get sick, then you have to come off the medicine.
Well, luckily the medicine I'm on is a short shelf life. There we go. Got it. In the body, meaning, or half life. The medication I'm on lasts for a week in the body. There's arthritis medications that they also use for lupus. That can be some medications are a month in the body, some are 6 months in the body, and some are a year in the body. But when you go out longer, if you have used one of the medications to knock out your immune system to help you function and not be in as much pain, that also means you're at a greater risk of having an infection that's harder to fight because your immune system is being knocked down for so long. That's one of the reasons why my medication is a week long, meaning I'm supposed to do my shots every week, is because it leaves the body.
Where'd your sister go?
So if I get sick, I go off the medication and it leaves my body quicker. But then I have to deal with being sick and my body dealing with that.
Yeah. So there's been times that you've had a flare-up and that you haven't been able to broadcast, and so that is what happens when that is happening. When you miss broadcast because of that, it is because you are having a flare-up.
Yes, that is correct. Still much darker. I think I need to better shape the background there. So I'm going to bump up to 4.5 for a second. Put this down. Let it heat up. This is cupping more, but I did use, the other day I used my hot air tip of my torch to darken some areas. So that does cup a thinner piece of wood more. In doing that.
Let's see. I'm going back to check out chat. Let's see. Barrel's here.
Hey, Burl. Yes, syphilis. I think it is syphilis, but I'm not 100% sure, Burl. I'll have to look that up. I'm not 100% sure on that.
Spence is asking, did you have to go through a lot of crap doctors before you found the right doctor who found out?
And that is where I mentioned we were going to talk about doctors. I am not going to attack any one doctor. But I did have to go through several doctors before I found my doctor. And I say it in that way because he is my doctor. I mean, he could be other people's doctor too. But we work as a team, not as a... I went to medical school, so I know more than you know about your own body. But it took no less than 3 years for me to find him. I got treated as if it was all in my head. I got ignored. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. I'm trying to decide how much I want to shape the breast. So yes, I will say I have been lucky in that I haven't had as many doctors who are either... See, my doctor is old school. He's an older man. But he was also big into student teaching and into research as well as seeing patients, and I think that helped in how he treated his own patients and listening and caring and saying, hey, here's this medicine. Let me know if you are interested in it. Here's the research. Here's what we're looking at. We are working together. But I had to be my own advocate multiple times with several doctors. And I will say not in a nice way, and I'll leave it at that, who those particular doctors caused more harm than good. And there are the statistics of females having a harder time with doctors, listening to them in regards to their pain, as well as having to do with those people of color also having that issue. And I believe some in the LGBTQ community also have that issue of being listened to and validated. It's not fun being treated as if this is all in your head when you know your body hurts like hell and you're not functioning the way everybody else is, and you're having a hard time dealing. When you can find a good doctor, though it may not always make all the symptoms go away. I have found that the more stressed that I am, and my response to stress of certain things, not always, but certain things do trigger. I actually, if I'm not careful in my response to something, I can trigger a flare-up based on how I'm reacting to stimulus outside of, well, I was going to say outside this house, but that's not always the case. Sometimes it's inside the house because I'm dealing with something incoming. But I firmly believe that regardless of what a doctor says, you have a right to be heard. And if you're not being heard, find a new doctor. And that's easy to say. That is really easy to say. For some people, that may not be an option. And that's just across the board. Any doctor may not be an option because maybe there's not another one in your area. We actually have to go to Phoenix for both my pain doctor and my rheumatologist, because the rheumatologist is the one who deals with lupus and arthritis and fibromyalgia. And so I have to go to Phoenix for those two doctors because up here in Flagstaff, there is one rheumatologist, and I am one of those people who will research the hell out of you before I make an appointment. And if I see one negative thing, I am less likely to make that appointment with you. So, doctor reviews, when legitimate, are very important to me. In fact, I went without a rheumatologist for how long? Let's see here. 4 years, because my doctor, who I'd been with for a very long time, the one I was talking about, he decided to close his practice because he was going strictly into research. And let me tell you, I've never cried about a doctor, ever, until him. In fact, it happened at the exact same time as this burner shut down. So I lost my doctor, and I lost my wood burner. And was the world ending in this home?
Mm-hmm.
I cried.
It was a bad week.
It was
Bad time.
It was a bad few months, yes. But he was going to research. That's where he wanted to focus. And then I found out last year through my pain doctor that he had come back. He was working at another doctor's office. And let me tell you, the minute I found that phone number, I found him again. I made my appointments again. And cried as I talked to him. Because he was back. There's something... You need a good doctor. And it can be heartbreaking when the only doctor you have available has other things in mind. I don't know how to put it, because some doctors, maybe they lack the information, newer information.
Well,
some may be burnt out, and
I think that's the case. They get burnt out and they lack empathy. Because I used to deal with this in the Army. Because there are quite a few people who are just trying, they're like, I don't feel that good, I'm going to go to the doctor. And so a lot of these doctors that, face a lot of the same kind of people over and over again, they start to get jaded about the people that they're seeing, and they start to make assumptions that they shouldn't, because they've seen so many people who are...
I think everybody's malingering.
Yeah, slightly inconvenienced. I remember I had pneumonia, and I would just see this doctor in the Army, and he'd been around for a while. He was a colonel, and he got mad at me. He was like, "You kids these days, you just any kind of discomfort, and you just quit."
I can't breathe, sir.
And he's like, back in my day, we would have a problem like this. We would just get out and run, and then you'd run, and you'd stop, and cough, and then cough it up and throw up, and then you'd be done with it, and you're fine, And I was like, well, what's wrong with me? He's like, you have pneumonia, and I was like, oh, okay.
Let me go run this out.
He says, here's your, get your medicine, and get out of here. But he was just really, really jaded about it, But
you have to be good about being your own cheerleader, being your own... What's the word? I have the word. I lost the word. Where did the word go?
I have it.
What is the word? Can you give it back to me?
No.
Give me back my word.
I don't know what the word is.
Advocate. Advocate is the word I was looking for. You have to be your own advocate. I try very hard, and I don't always make it, but I try very hard to do less research until I can talk to the doctor.
Yeah.
Meaning I try to stay off of WebMD. Shh, we're not playing right now. We're not playing right now, children. I try to stay off of WebMD because that can really screw with your head. You're wondering if you're having all these things going on.
Be nice.
Morgan, do you want out, Morgan? You can wonder if you have all these things going on. It can make you feel worse.
Yeah.
So I try hard. Do I still do it? Yes, I still do it. Because I'm like, I want to know. I want to know. I have, and this was for somebody else within the family. I have watched a doctor, and again, this is not nailing all doctors because by far not all doctors are like this. The person had just had outpatient surgery, and they were screaming about pain, that they were in pain. Either the doctor didn't give them enough after they come out of anesthesia, or what happened. But they were having a really hard. Their body. This was a female. Their body was not right, and they were in a lot of pain. And finally got the doctor in there to help deal with that. And the doctor blew this person off and basically said, it can't be that bad, and went to walk out of the room. I was standing there, and I stood in front of him and refused to let him leave until he truly helped that person the way he was supposed to help that person.
Yeah.
And that person ended up being admitted into the hospital because they had something major going on. But that doctor was going to blow them off because for whatever reason, it just... I don't know what the reason. I can't... And I don't even think I can make a guess at the reason. But I refuse to let that doctor... Now, I did not physically touch the doctor. I did not cuss the doctor out. But I do have the mother death stare. And that mother death stare was employed. And it did work. But I had to be an advocate for that person because the doctor wasn't listening. So my biggest thing is be an advocate for yourself. Now, there may be times that the doctor is like right on what they're saying. And maybe that's where research would help you to ensure that's correct information and whatnot. So you have to learn the balance of when to...
Andrea's here.
Andrew. On how to deal with the doctor. Like, my doctor can tell me something. In fact, I learned something from the CDC in regards to me and my lupus that I now have to this summer talk to my doctor about, because we had talked about it. He told me no, that it wasn't a part of the lupus, only to find out it is. Now, does that mean he was trying to be wrong? No. He may not have seen the newest data or whatnot, even though he loves research. Or, and this is the bigger thing, I think, may not have had a previous patient with those issues. And so the lack of experience with that particular issue, which would be the blood clotting for me. Well, I don't have a clot. I have very thick blood that can clot, and that's what we're trying to deal with now. And when I talk to him, I'll say, hey, doc, this is what the CDC said, just want to let you know, and this is how another doctor is treating me for it. He loves the information. It's not the first time I've had to bring him information. Another was from a court case, my court case, in regards to disability. And he didn't know. Once I told him and gave him the information as to where he could do his own research. He was happy that he had that information. And now he could use that to help other patients if it came up again. So sometimes things don't come up, and I think so the doctors don't necessarily know. And that's okay. Give me a doctor that will tell me, I don't know, let's find out together, is a doctor I will be loyal to if everything else is good. But telling me you don't know, I need to find out. It's a fair question or, hey, that's quite interesting. Let's see. A doctor who will put aside their ego and tell me that is a doctor I will support. If a doctor blows me off, let's just say I don't have nice things to say and I have gone off on a doctor, because if nobody else is going to take me seriously, I need to take myself seriously. I'm the one who's having to deal with it. I mean, with the pain medication epidemic going on, I'm trying not to get triggered by demonetized going on in the world because things have been abused. It's frustrating because I have to get drug tested every 3 months, which makes me, well, it's frustrating. Not that I'm hiding anything, but it frustrates me.
Well,
to have to constantly be drug tested. You get it once a year.
Yeah.
Through the VA.
I think that the thing is, right, is that when you get drug tested all the time, there's a lot of people that are judgy.
Yep.
And so they make an assumption like, oh,
you must need to be drug tested.
You're getting drug tested for a reason,
mm-hmm.
and that kind of that colors their attitude towards you, because then you're there because you're getting drug tested or whatever, but they might not be as nice to you because they assume and they're willing to act on their judginess.
Yeah.
So I have not really ever had that issue.
Well, it doesn't help because in my job a long time ago, that is one thing I had to do with a particular population who had a negative connotation with it. So it starts making me feel like that group.
Yeah.
When I haven't done anything wrong.
Right.
I understand the reason for it. I think things have gone overboard.
Yeah.
Especially when I've been being drug tested for 10, 12 years. No, longer than that. I've been drug tested off and on since 2002. Yeah.
Burrow says the word monitored would be better, but even so, I mean, I agree that's a better word for it. But even so, when you're getting tested over and over, like my last Army unit that I was in had had so many problems with drugs that we had 3 drug tests a week, and that's terrible. Like 3 drug tests a week, because chain of command was basically punishing the unit and trying to ensure that nobody would do drugs and also catch those who were doing them. But it made all of us look bad because we're getting 3 drug tests a week.
Mm-hmm.
I would say the closest thing that I've ever had to that, though, is that again, when I was in the military, there was this weekend duty where we would have to pick up trash by the side of the road, and you weren't in trouble to get on it. It's just, I was lower ranking at that time, and if you're lower ranking, you get to do all the jobs that nobody else wants to do.
Yep.
And so this was a stretch of highway that was outside post, and so we'd have to go out there for 3 or 4 hours at a time and pick up trash and wear orange vests. And
keep talking. I'm gonna wipe with denatured alcohol.
Okay. People driving by would yell some nasty things at us.
Well, they assumed you were in trouble.
Exactly. They assumed that we were being punished for something, or that we were, we were inmates or something like that. And so I understand the feeling, but I haven't had the.
I understand why they have to do it.
I do too, but it's not.
I'm about to say something that may be controversial.
You? I have never known you to say anything that's not.
Well, I don't know. Based on people listening. I don't know how they'll respond. I don't think it's controversial. If marijuana was federally legal for those with disability to use, and it wouldn't hurt your disability, which it does, so you have to talk to your attorney and doctor and get that taken care of. But if I could get away with not losing my disability and smoke pot all day, I would. Not to stay stoned, but because I have found pot makes my pain go to 0 for the time that I'm actually having it in my system. For the short time, so it'd have to be like every 4 to 6 hours, like my regular pain medication. If I could get away with pot and not lose my disability, I would.
Well, I think
because I need to stress this. I have 0 pain when I'm on pot, and I sleep.
Yeah.
0 pain.
Well, I think that one of the things that people who have chronic pain, and I think a lot of people in our chat do, understand that. Burl says, move to British Columbia. You can even grow your own.
No, I can grow my own here. Arizona is fully legal for both medical and recreational pot. I can grow my own. But my Social Security disability, because I can't work, you guys get me for an hour a week. That's about all I can do. Because I can't work outside the home, I'm on disability with everything going on. But because legally, pot is not legal nationally, meaning through the U.S. government, I can do it. And my pain doctors have told me, if it works for you, do it. But then I can lose my disability because it's not a legal substance.
Yeah. Yep.
So the national.
Yeah.
I can do it here in Arizona. That ain't a problem.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat, Cause
I get drug tested every 3 months. So I will pull up hot. I will pop hot every time.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's legal locally, and illegal federally. So, like, if I were to get caught on a blood test, then it would kill my benefits. So,
yep. I mean, there are plenty of soldiers and those disabled who do it.
Yep.
But if they're not getting tested all the time, they have less to worry about. And I get tested all the damn time.
Yeah.
And I can have medicine in my system, but because of some of my genetics, I have some genetics that where the pain medication uptake isn't the best, and then I have other genetics on the other side that has no problems processing my pain medication. So I can take my medication, and sometimes I come up as not having it in my system, even though I took it.
Yeah.
Those are going to be some pretty browns when I go to seal it.
Yeah.
I like that.
And I think that something that a lot of people who have pain realize is that just once in a while, if you have chronic pain, like, you just need a break from it,
Yes, you do.
Because you get more and more used to it, but then, you lose your energy levels and you lose your mobility, and it just it's fatiguing. And just to have a break from it is amazing. So...
Well, I'm sorry. For us, Teresa, we can just go a couple miles down the road and get legal. Well, we can't, because I don't have a medical marijuana card, I can't get the higher medical version of pot, but we can go a couple miles down the road. Hell, we can go to the bedroom for that matter. We got stuff in the bedroom.
Don't dime us out.
It ain't diming us out. Hell, we're too old. It's not like we're in high school.
Okay, federal agents show up.
No, they can kiss my ass.
All right.
Yes, I said that. I'm waiting for this to dry because it was wet.
So,
Wine
Scott says you lose your benefits if you smoke pot, but what about if you drink a beer?
No.
No. No, you could.
And that's the point. Alcohol is legally federally, but pot isn't.
Yeah.
And that is where the disconnect is.
Yeah, you can be a raging alcoholic.
Yep.
You keep your benefits.
In fact, you'll get your benefits on for some because that is bad alcohol. That's a whole multi-person function issue.
I know.
So yes, if it was just legalized federally, I would wean off my pain medication and I would go and use pot.
Who did it? One of you did it.
And I'll tell you what, I would be happier because I'm not in so much pain. And there's the rub.
Yep.
There is the rub. I'm trying not to get emotional off of that because I know it helps me.
I thought that's where you're going, Spence. Yeah,
What's that?
because beer and wine is way more dangerous. It is, you know. But
Actually, I'm not supposed to use alcohol through my doctor's
Right.
office. Because of the medication I'm on, I'm not supposed to use alcohol. Alright, let's shape these fingers. I gotta figure out what we're doing next week. I've been trying to think of what to do. What kind of piece I want to work on. Or if I want to just work on skills, techniques. So a lot more dark needs to come into this. I was hoping I could get it done in an hour, but I don't see that happening. I'm actually switching over to my 18 medium. And then while I'm waiting for that to heat up, I'm going to back the camera out so we can see it from a distance, see how it's looking. Remember from a distance about how far people are going to view it. Gives us a better idea of what's going on. So looking at her, she definitely needs to go darker, but I do need to darken the background. And I think once I darken the background, she's really going to pop out more. Yeah.
well, Spence, it's not about the not understanding what works. It's what's lucrative.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of socio-economical, political.
I don't want to get into the political stuff. This is, if I stay with it in regards to my body and what works, I think I can get away with it. I don't think necessarily it's a personal thing for everybody, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, he definitely needs to go darker. So right now I'm flat. I'm just trying to blend out. And doing this, I'm actually gonna go up a little higher. You can start getting better shapes going. That is fully legal here, and I don't have to worry about other issues.
Where is?
Pot.
Oh, yeah.
As soon as it's legal and I don't have to worry about other issues, I will get off my pain medication and do that.
Sonia has to go.
Bye,
She says
Sonia.
thanks for the class.
Well, there is another issue with that, though. Because I could go off my pain medication and do it and tell everybody else to... But insurance pays for my medication. Ooh.
Yeah.
Look at that. Insurance pays for my medication.
You sound like Squidward.
I know. Pays for my medication, but insurance doesn't pay for pot. And that can get very expensive.
SpongeBob.
It's because I was trying to plug my nose and talk at the same time.
Carrie is very, very late, but
Hey, Carrie.
just got off from work, but we'll watch the replay. Hello, Carrie.
Is that you, little one, or was that your sister, big sister?
I think it was Big Sis. I think she moved because, yeah, is it bad down there?
Morgan's readjusting her nose away from the location. Isn't she? Oh, did he offend your nose?
It hurts, Mom.
He offends all our noses.
Burl says, pot is cheap up there.
Well, if I could grow it myself, it'd be even cheaper. Not that I want to, because, I mean, we are in Arizona. It's a pain in the butt to grow things up here. Doable, but a pain in the butt. I have no issues with marijuana.
Right.
We're all big kids, aren't we?
Yep.
We can all make our own choices, can't we?
You think so? We're coming up on noon.
Yeah, he definitely needs to go darker, but I can see it now. I can see what all needs to happen. And luckily, I'm like so close to being done and being able to varnish so we can see those really beautiful browns pop up.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. I'm just going to push one area back so we can just see real quick. Because this is, yeah, much brighter than... My paper towel is still wet, so I'm checking. Because I was talking at the same time. Yeah, it needs to go darker. I'll work on this side. So I've pulled out my 18 large. It's at 4.5. I'm going to touch down in a dark area already. I'm going to spin my board just so I can...
Carrie says that looks amazing.
I think there's things I think I would do different in the future, but I'm not hating it. I think it just needs to be finished.
Yeah.
I just need to finish it. So I'm trying to still decide, because I have kept this lighter down here. So I'm trying to decide how much the darker the stuff up here needs to be, so that we get the feeling of the light coming from down there without having to have any like absolutes. So it's more abstract in that way. So I'm trying to darken. Yeah, see. I think I can actually even go as dark as up here, down here, or at least right here.
Yes, thank you, Carrie. Everybody, thumbs up, please.
Yes, please.
It really helps.
So we have gotten through Lupus Awareness Month.
Yep.
Is there any questions about lupus? Now, I am not in any way an expert. I just live with it.
Okay, makes you kind of an expert.
No.
Of a certain kind.
Of a certain... I'm an experienced person. Because lupus affects everybody differently. It really does. There's general symptoms, there's general things that occur, but everybody is different. I mean, knock on wood, I don't have any bald patches, so that's one less thing I currently have to work with or deal with. Doesn't mean it won't happen in the future, just right now it's not occurring.
I still love you.
I don't know, if it really started going, if I really started having those issues, I don't know if I would shave my head or not. I don't know, because I haven't had to. But there are people who do have to live with trying to make that decision. And it can be very stressful. And I feel for those people. But thus far, I am lucky in that I have not had to deal with that. This definitely needs to go darker. And again, since we got everybody still here real quick, please, I'm asking everybody to send love and healing energy to Gila, who had major surgery this morning. He is with us with the chat, which makes me feel very honored. I wasn't expecting her. I was hoping he would be resting, and hopefully he is resting to recover. So thank you for being here. And I love you very much. He has been my mod for a long time. Her and Greg. And he's almost always with us in chat here. She helps take care of me on some level. And I love her dearly for it. So please send her all your love and support. And if you're watching on replay, you can just leave it in the comments and I will let her know. Yeah, I need to keep pushing and pushing it back, but we are starting to see it compared to here, because they were about the same tonal value on each side. We're starting to see it a little bit darker here. Still think it needs to push. I actually kind of like this back here. That was just happened while I was burning the background. I was like, well, hell, I'll just do this. And so I did this. And then I did that. All right. So let me know in the comments what you want to do next week, because I have no clue. I don't know what I want to do. I do read all my comments. I don't necessarily always answer if I'm exhausted, or yes, I do always read them. Why'd you ask that, Spence? Yes. So people are feeling like I don't read the comments. I need to start being better about answering the comments. So people don't feel that way, because I don't want people to feel that way.
No, you definitely read the comments.
Oh, yeah, I definitely read the comments. I always read the comments. Oh, who's puppy face? Oh, hello, baby. I got a puppy face in my hand. Let's see here.
You should pet her.
I am petting her.
Not enough.
Oh, I'm loving you, aren't I, baby? Dirty nose. I'm loving you. She's almost a year old. All right. So I will figure out. But let me know what you'd like to see in the future. If I can have a running list, and then it's easier for me to pull and go, okay, somebody wanted to see this, and somebody wanted to see that, and I wanted to do this. And we can go from there. So, and everything is wrapping up. What, baby? I know, you're ready for lunch, aren't you? Oh, it's so cute. If only I could show you this face. She has the cutest face. Yes, she does. Alrighty. Guys, you know what to say with me. Oh, and don't forget to like, subscribe if you're new. I should have said that at the beginning, and I say that every week, and I suck.
No, you don't.
I always forget.
But do, like, if you see this and you like and subscribe, it doesn't cost anything. You're not on a like budget.
Maybe you should say it when I say joined with Hubcap or Hubby, and you say Hubcap. Maybe you should say it then, and then I don't have to worry about thinking about it.
Say what then?
Exactly. All right, guys, say it with me. You're awesome.
Yep.
You can do this.
Correct.
Why? Because you're a pyro artist. Happy burning, guys. Bye. You're silly. Food.
What are we eating?
Now.
We're eating now?
Yes.
What?